Yeah, intro music.
Yes.
Our podcast has an intro now, people. We are live. Yes. Yes, we are live on the Love Gurus podcast. And here it comes. Boom. Wait for it.
You think your love life is going kind of bad? If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
It's an accident.
You think your romance maybe ain't the norm.
You're missing out.
Oh, yeah, you guys can't hear it over there.
Fiance who's been slipping it to your mom. Just ask the love gurus to tell you what to do.
No
Listen
wonder
to
that
the
reach around
love
from your uncle's
gurus.
finger was made. Right in line.
There's a theme that
Oh, yeah. Like,
streams through. Yes.
I guess you guys are most popular in West Virginia and Arkansas.
Dude,
Trying.
everywhere where people have uncles, you know? People have uncles all over the place. Creepy ones, you know, in every state. That's why this always works. But welcome to the Love Gurus podcast. Thank you to everybody watching out there on YouTube or listening on whatever app you're listening on somewhere in the future after we've recorded this. But if you are indeed listening to this on an audio platform of some kind or watching this as a saved file on YouTube, catch us every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, unless I'm having tech issues, which I was tonight, and I am many nights. But then it will be shortly after 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are going to take ridiculous dating questions from the psychopaths on Reddit and from you, the listeners, in the chat every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern with my amazing co-host, Suzanne Leah Shepherd. How's it going?
Oh, just great. It's an unseasonably warm day, and I'm for it.
Goddamn right. I'm tired of all of that Greta Thunberg's negativity. You know what I mean? What about all the good things global warming is doing for us? I wore shorts today, people. It is November in New York.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to be
You don't
happening,
even
but
need
it is.
You don't even need a hoodie. Nothing.
It's Greta Thunberg.
Thornberry.
She's Swedish, so I had to say something.
I thought it was Thunberg.
I thought it was Thunberg as well.
Yeah, that's the Americanized version.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
is
what I
it?
think it is too.
Oh, see, when you said
It's Thornberry.
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 How is it? Thunberg?
Thunberg.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Is it?
I was like, I thought the Thornberries was like a Nickelodeon commercial.
Why?
So-
Petey's wife is here, Sandra, an actual Swedish woman in the house.
Yeah, Sweden in the house.
Swedish people giving us actual Greta Thunberg knowledge.
So if you
Straight from the source.
yeah,
That's
so
what I get for talking shit.
Yeah, right off the bat. I'm sorry. I'm going to chime in quick
Yes.
with some wrong information.
I'm going to be smarter
she's-
than you.
Yeah, so if you see us referencing a Swedish input production crew, if you will, fact checker from the side, yeah, it's Petey's wife. So
Yes.
all good.
Yes, it's awesome. We have we have somewhat of a live in-house audience, which is fucking great, man. Like it adds a whole new energy to it. And we have Joel on YouTube. He says Uncle Joe is here.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. That's right. God damn it, Joel. Love the intro, by the way. Give it up for Joel for the intro. Yes,
There you go.
Joel.
Yes.
We love the intro. Let me introduce our two awesome guests this week, man.
Yes.
Both first-time guests, man. So I'm super excited about this. First up, he's a hilarious stand-up comic, Mr. Tony Sykowski. Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely, man. And we appreciate having you here, as well as our second guest, another hilarious stand-up comic, another first-time guest, Mr. Petey Rancel. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, man. We're happy to have you, man. Actually, both of you guys, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, on Instagram at Tony Sykowski.
Boom.
SYKOWSK.
Look it up, people.
I'm at Petey Rancel, PETEYRANCEL. And if you're ever in Atlantic City, I'm 5 days a week at the Tropicana Casino at Kiss Kiss Nightclub with AC Jokes.
Nice.
There you go.
Very cool.
There you go. So, people, you could lose all your goddamn money in Atlantic City, right? Or you could go see Petey, you know?
Or you could do
You know-
both.
You could
Yeah.
do both. You can do both. As you're losing your money in between, rounds of slot machines, rounds of poker, rounds of whatever you're doing there, go see Petey.
What a lot of people do is they'll buy their tickets and then go lose all their money and then go to the comedy show.
That's the move, right?
That's the move.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
But that's fucking rough for you, though. That means you have to entertain people not that have been barked in, but that have been robbed in. They've lost all their money. They don't know how they're paying rent. They're just chain smoking, cigarette in each hand, going, "Oh fuck, man! I got to give back my Gamblers Anonymous poker chip, and I got to tell my wife we're bankrupt." And you somehow got to make them chuckle between all of that.
See, I don't know. I feel like they would come in with sort of broken spirits, like just kind of wanting someone to cheer them up. Not saying, of course, you're an amazing comic, of course, but it's like, they're looking at you. You are sort of like this angel of gambling addiction, and you're bringing
it's like a Christmas Carol, but Atlantic City and 365 days of the year.
Yeah, basically, that's like somebody's gonna get their eye shot out at some point.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah. But it has happened to me before. When one time I was in Vegas and I was just losing so much money, I was like, I'm just going to go to the bar and pay for my drinks. Like, this is not a cost-effective way to spend the evening. I'm going to pay $15 a drink, and I'm going to come out ahead at the end of the night. Like,
nice.
Just not. I don't like gambling.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, my dad was a hardcore gambler like my entire life, and I'm like, it's the dumbest fucking addiction there is. Like, I'm not saying it's the worst one. Like, probably heroin or meth or something is probably the worst one.
At least those are fun
fucking
every time you do it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They work 100% of the time. There's no liquor that just only gets you drunk about a third of the time. And then the second 2/3 of the time, it's just, oh, I have whiskey dick right away. Oh, I have a hangover right away. Oh, I crashed my car right away. Oh, my wife and kids left me. And I, you know what I mean? There's no heroin to where it's like, oh, I crapped out at the heroin table. Now I'm stuck in this position for 6 hours, but I can totally, I'm conscious right now, guys. I can't move. I'm shitting my pants on the subway right now. This is crazy.
Here's my thing. Anytime I'm in a casino, I always buy a pack of cigarettes to smoke.
Yeah.
Because you can smoke inside.
Right. But and that's so that you are conscious of more conscious of what you're doing, or is it because you just want
I just like the ability to smoke inside.
Oh,
there's
okay.
something
No,
exciting.
I totally am with you on that, because there's something that it's like normally the only time I feel like I can remember smoking inside is like at a strip club, and so there's something that it's like I just want to be like a seedy old woman, and
Y'all
sort
need
of
to
like
go to Miami. Y'all need to go to Miami. Like, you go to Miami, you can smoke in the nightclub. Like, you can be in the VIP smoking a blunt, and nobody's gonna say shit to you.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, people, to be inside and then to smoke, but it's also kind of nice because then people are more reluctant to sit next to you, and like, especially as a female, like it's nice to, it's like this weapon, right? That's why I like doing COVID. Some bars put those like partitions on the bar so you can only do 2 seats at a time. And it was so great because it stopped like, those creepy old men from coming up and being like, "What are you girls drinking tonight?" It's like, "Oh, I can't hear you. There's a plastic barrier between us. Sorry." Like it's just that physical distance. Anyway, but that's great. Speaking of creepy people, what are...
No, I was trying to sneakily tell Amy I could totally see her screen, like on our screen. Like, yeah. We
Amy,
have,
get...
yes.
It was the Love Guru screen on the Love Guru.
It was like the shittiest Black Mirror episode ever. What if we had a podcast within a podcast? Like, it's super futuristic.
I was hoping it would be like a different podcast she's watching. It's like Joe Rogan's queued up.
We watch ourselves get podcast cucked right there on the screen.
Like, wait, Ron White's on?
She's got earbuds in. She's listening to Rogan interview Ron White. She's laughing at stuff we're not even saying. I was like, Amy, I was in the middle of a setup there. Oh yeah. I just, it seemed like it was going to be real funny.
Just an ayahuasca.
Oh, but amazing. We've got a lot of good questions this week. I think cheating is definitely a big part of the theme this week. And so I think that we should, but we also need to mention our 5th guest of the podcast.
We should mention the white wine, but real quick, Joel on YouTube says, "Glad you have the Swedish fact checker. However, please ask them to hit the back button. The previous video they were watching on Pornhub is better than the current one." That was before I called Amy out, or tried to sneakily not comment. and he just assumed that the Swedish fact checker was on the computer, literally fact checking, and that's what he was saying.
That's what we call fact checking. It's like, incest porn, like the song.
Yeah, well, but that's what I was going to say. This is like a love podcast. So if
That's
you're
true.
going to check somewhere that's giving you the facts of how love goes down,
That's
listen,
not love.
that's not.
bro.
that's
That is not love.
I don't think what this guy's saying is true. Let me check Pornhub.
I think it's love.
sometimes, not all the time.
But you're right. We do need to hear from the fifth member of the podcast. I'm talking about the wine people. This week we are starting it off with Aschenberg Premium. That sounds like a Pornhub fucking category, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like Aschenberg Premium. That's a pay site right there. Aschenberg. That's an even longer word. I can't even pretend to pronounce. It's got an O with 2 dots over it. Is that like a logo thing?
Oh, they call
or
that
like,
an umlaut in
That's umlaut?
Sweden.
Is that
right?
real?
Yeah. Well, it's something. The O
An
with the 2
umlaut.
dots.
An umlaut,
Yeah.
right?
It's oh, dude, I might be able to say this. I might be able to give this a try.
Give it a
Dude,
shot.
am
Give it a
I
shot.
brave enough to do an 18-letter wine name on this podcast? I think I am. Here we go. Niederösterreich. Yes,
Nailed it.
Niederösterreich. That's the name of this wine. Niederösterreich. This typical and spicy wine is made by 100% of Gruner Veltliner. Yeah, Veltliner. That's right.
Yeah, love a little
it is
Veltliner.
very typical and is best with seafood and light food and light meat. I don't like that they said it's very typical, right?
Well, it's Austrian, so
It's
they're not-
Austrian?
yeah, it's an
Are
Austrian
they trying to
wine.
sneak some shit past
So,
me? Is that
you
what they're
know,
fucking doing here?
Aus-
This is very typical. Just
Yeah.
drink it. It's
But that's
nothing
what I'm
weird.
saying.
Nothing
There's
weird.
none of this. There's none of this
Nothing weird.
floof. There's none of this romantic language from the Italians or the French of like, this wine has a bouquet of that. They're just like, it is typical. Or wait, what's my German accent? Wait, I can't even think.
Das ist typical.
Yeah,
Das ist very typical.
Das typical wine. It's typical wine. We don't, so it's just more point to the Austrian culture.
If you call a Frenchman or an Italianman's wine typical, they will shoot you in the face.
Yes, whereas
Yeah.
like
They do not like that at all.
Whereas Austrians are like, thank you.
I was going for typical. Yeah.
I would like a typical. Yes.
That means people are drinking.
And then
People typically drink typical wine. That's
and then
what
they
they're
just
going for.
and then they just ski off down the mountain like a humble person that they are. You know?
Drink the whole bottle and drive very fast on Autobahn. Typical.
And then they just get overthrown by Russia.
Our vodka is far from typical. That typical shit sucks.
Also, I love where 0 for 2 is Swedish pronunciation.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I
we need
know.
to start making a chalkboard.
Yeah, and I fucked up several words in here, man. I
like,
just,
it's
you know.
Well, it was only
No,
one
yeah,
word,
yeah.
but it had several word value.
Yeah, that's true. I think I fucked up that word 7 times within that one word.
Yeah,
you know, and then Gruner and Veltliner.
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 more words I fucked up.
I will say that as love gurus, syllables aren't our strong point. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Once we nail syllables, we get up to words.
I mean, dude, we're all right with vowels. To be fair, we're pretty good with vowels, right? But it's
Yeah.
the consonants that fuck us. It's
Yeah.
the consonants every time.
Oh, God.
we got
Florida.
5
What's
of
a
the letters.
consonant?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's like it's like not the vowels. It's like you got the vowels.
It's
the A, O-
everything except
yeah.
A, E, I, O, U.
There's like vowels and not vowels and
So
consonants.
it's letters, but not all of them.
It's,
Yes,
it's
it's
all
most of them.
letters
It's
except
most-
for
most of
except for 5. So
yeah,
22.
and sometimes Y. and why is
Sometimes
why
Y.
sometimes and not others? I have no
Flip-flops.
idea. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
I gave up on that shit
Yeah,
in like first grade.
the letter Y is
You're just
non-binary.
in first grade. You just flip your desk.
I'll never let you know a consonant. Cut to right now.
The teacher gets to the end of the alphabet. She says, sometimes Y. He's like, lady, are you making this shit up as you go? Are you fucking kidding me? This is grade 1. Will you stop this? Will you stop?
Oh, awesome,
But
awesome.
yes, Aschenberg Niederösterreich wine. Get you some. Now let's hear our first question from the wild animals on Reddit.
First question. My husband slept with 2 men on a stag week. I'm 30 and my husband is 35. He
Wow.
he went to Magaluf on a stag weekend. bachelor party weekend for us Americans recently, and when he got back, he confessed that he got drunk and slept with another man, blaming the fact that he was so out of it. He told me that he woke up, screamed when he realized that he was in a hotel bed with a guy lying next to him.
This is so not typical for me.
But he also admitted that he'd got very drunk on another occasion and slept with the groom, his friend, who surprisingly isn't angry, and just said, "It's just a bunch of stuff that happened. I'm not bothered that I slept with you. We did it and that's it." My husband told me that
I guess it was typical.
My husband told me that he isn't gay or bi, and that it was simply down to overdoing it on a stag weekend in terms of drinking and drugs, and that he regrets it. We have a 4-year-old son, and my husband is a very good dad. He told me that he wants to work on our marriage, and I want to be able to forgive him, but it feels hard, and I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. His friend's wedding is in a week's time, and my husband and his friend want to keep what happened secret from the bride, and I'm not sure about that either. What is your advice?
Dude, this question literally just made me spill Niederunterstrich wine all over myself. That's fucking crazy.
So
Right.
to give a
there's
quick,
a lot to unpack here.
There is a lot, yeah. So it's a heterosexual couple. So just to make that clear, yeah.
Well,
so
kind of.
Yeah, very good point. But what she seems heterosexual, yeah. So, but it's a man and a woman couple, I should say. And the husband goes away on a bachelor party, sleeps with another man, comes back, confesses it, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I also slept with the groom." So,
Like right after, like, listen, you slept with this one guy. It was a one-time thing. I think I can get past this. Well,
Yeah.
define one-time thing. Like
But
one
see-
weekend where I fuck dudes,
but that
or
part, that part makes sense to me though, because have you ever been in trouble and then you're just like, "Well, I'm in the doghouse now. I may as well just admit everything bad I've done for the last 6
Instead of
months."
saving it for later,
Yeah,
you're like, let's
you
get it
just
all
Right.
out.
get it all
'cause
out.
You're already
yeah.
mad.
Since I'm
Yeah.
already serving time,
Yeah.
let me just knock this all out. Maybe I can plea bargain that second thing
Yeah.
because of the first thing.
Yeah.
It's like
let's run our charges congruent.
Yeah.
and just charge them
Exactly.
all at once.
Yeah.
Do I get more tears for fucking 2 dudes than one? I don't think that much more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think she's more upset that I fucked a dude.
No.
If I throw a second one in there, it's just like,
So my
it's just
question
a little bit of
is
tag on
she
tears.
more upset that he had sex with anyone else, or the fact that it's the 2 dudes?
Well-
Because had it been 2 females, would it hold as much weight and bearing?
Yeah. I think it's, should we get our Swedish guests some water? Are you okay? No, it's okay. Should we-
Didn't want any.
This is
She has been taken aback by this story.
oh my God, I feel so,
Go outside.
I feel so bad for her.
Petey,
Okay.
did this story hit too close to home? Does this remind her of your stag party?
Is she actually throwing up because it reminded her of the last time, you and I
hey.
Hey, what
well,
happens at Atlantic City stays in Atlantic City.
That
5 nights a week. No.
that is bachelor party fucking haven.
So,
His wife just walked out of her house.
yeah.
She was like, "Fuck it, I'm done with this."
Yeah.
You said you'd never talk about it again.
So here's honestly, so she kind of seems like, okay, listen, like we've had, because she's not really, saying, she's not like, "Oh, I'm upset that he cheated." She's kind of like, this is like a new chapter and this might be a bigger issue than me. To be honest, I think really what she is struggling with the most is the fact that the 2 men slept together and they're trying to keep it a secret from the bride. So it's either an issue of, she's upset that the bride doesn't know about the cheating, or, that the bride doesn't know that they have had a relationship. Like, that to me is what she seems most upset about.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of is like, I guess you're kind of gay or bi. Okay, but we should tell Brenda. Like, Brenda deserves to know.
But the thing is that, all right, I personally do not believe that it is her place to decide whether or not they tell the bride.
No, but are you kidding?
I'm sorry, but she's going to be going to this wedding.
Yes.
And she gets to say, does anyone have any
And her-
objections? And she can stand up and go, my husband
yes.
fucked the groom.
She's gonna be banging on that glass like Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate. Your
Yes.
husband fucked a groom.
And that guy. And that guy.
But the,
And that other guy
You get a
too.
fuck, and you get a fuck, and you get a fuck.
but the thing is that
My
it's-
husband fucked most of the dudes on that stage right now.
Do you believe? All right. I guess that the it boils down to morality. Do you believe in the sanctity of marriage as in a moral obligation before the eyes of God, or is it something that you personally feel like you're going to be the vigilante here? Do you have some sort of, do you feel like it's your moral obligation?
Yeah, so I think there's two things, right? So one is that let's say that you're going to a wedding, but you're kind of not like that close with them, and you kind of heard that the groom was sleeping around or whatever. But you don't have like concrete proof. It's not like you've got this like a picture on your phone or something that you go up to the bride and be like, just so you know what you're getting into before you. That's a different story from your husband fucked the groom. Like you are one step removed. This isn't like a Kevin Bacon situation where we're 7 steps down the line. She has direct knowledge of this with her husband. Your husband fucked the groom is my favorite Katy Perry song. It's a banger. I do think that she should tell the bride. Now, there are many situations that we've talked about on this show that when it involves cheating, in my opinion, is 9 times out of 10, it's none of your business. Like, keep your mouth shut, right? Like, certainly, first and foremost, the groom should tell his bride. But if he doesn't, if I were the bride, I would want to know. And if she comes back and says, okay, you're bi, we're going to have an open relationship, that's a whole different story. But she should know before they get married.
Yeah. She should know. And she should know. But that is not her relationship. That is not her. Now, it is her relationship with her husband.
Yeah.
She has every right to say, you know what? I don't feel comfortable going to this wedding with you two.
Oh, so
there.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't tell her, I don't feel comfortable going.
Is she friends with the bride though?
But
That's my biggest
it doesn't
question.
Matter.
I think that
if
matters.
she doesn't feel comfortable, going to that wedding, if they don't tell her, if she doesn't feel, then she should not go to the wedding. But it is not her place to go and tell the bride. It is her place to put her barriers, to put her. Right. She has her place, but her responsibility is to her relationship.
This was that weird.
I say snitch.
I see what you're saying, but I just
this
don't
is that
think...
weird third verse in Stand By Your Man, that people forget about.
Put up barriers in your relationship.
Yeah, because also the other thing is I get what you're saying in the fact of like I don't feel comfortable like going to the wedding if it goes through. Like that's one thing, but she doesn't seem like she would have that much of a presence where again Brenda's walking down the aisle and she's like, Robin? Wait, Robin's not here. There's a problem. Oh my God, my husband slept with someone. Like she's not gonna like work that out before just because Robin doesn't go to the wedding, she's not gonna like figure it out. And again, it's like afterwards, how can you say that the bride wouldn't be a little mad that she didn't say something? I think the bride would be mad at her. I don't know.
I agree and disagree with both of you depending on one thing. Is this lady friends with the bride? That makes a big difference.
Yes.
Because if it's a friend of yours who's getting cheated on, it's like, how are you going to not tell your friend that you know that their husband, that their wife, that their boyfriend, that their girlfriend, that their non-binary fuck partner is fucking around on them? I think that's, what I mean?
That is a determining factor.
That's a huge determining factor.
Because she does actually have an investment in that relationship with that person.
Yeah.
So if that relationship is going to be affected due to outside influences, she does have every responsibility to that relationship as well.
Yes. But does it mention in the question, does she know this bride?
Doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't sound like it because I feel that's a detail that would be in there.
Yes.
If she was like, oh, I know Brenda, and she would be so mad that I caught my husband blowing her husband. It's her biggest pet peeve is her husband getting blown by her husband.
I guess I maybe am like backing down a little bit on my answer because I'm putting, so for example, like my boyfriend has a friend that they're getting married in February and they just went on a bachelor party. Like if my boyfriend came back and was like, oh, the groom like totally cheated on that, I would be like, fuck, like that's not cool. And I might be like, well, I'm not gonna go to this wedding, But I've met the bride several times before and I like her, but I wouldn't consider myself friends with her. Because, yeah, I guess, like, what are you going to do? Send a Facebook friend request? Hey, by the way.
By the way,
You're
there's
gonna-
been some dicking down going on.
Yeah, you're gonna tweet at her. Like, how do you get that message?
At
across?
at first, she's about to delete the message. Like, man, these Bitcoin salesmen will fucking try anything. Look at this shit. And she's like, wait a minute, I do know this
And would
lady.
she,
God
should
damn it.
she do it at the wedding? Like, does it, like you said, does anybody have any objections? My husband, like, where would, like, what is the proper way of going about this?
Oh,
Yeah.
anonymous note.
Oh,
If you
Anonymous.
were gonna do it, if she felt like
Yeah.
she had to do it, you gotta go anonymous.
Oh,
then
do you
you're
think-
just being
You got-
a coward.
Oh yeah.
no, but
of
I
course.
think, but that's
yeah.
kind of
But
a
why
great.
would you want to be a coward?
How would you?
Because your husband fucked the crew. That's why I would be a coward. I go, hey, I
No,
hear
but-
your husband cheated. You just say
Yeah.
cheated. You don't say with who or
Yeah.
any information. You go, you should ask him about it.
Because yeah,
And then see what happens.
Tony has a good point here because really the objective is just to get him over the tipping point. It's not to necessarily make like a video documentary of their bang session. You know what I mean?
But that
like,
would be sweet.
It would be awesome. This is a video compilation of your husband and mine. But it is just more of like to tip the groom over the edge to get to the point where he confesses. So yeah, if you send some anthrax letter to her, they're like, your husband
Then
cheated.
that's
and it blows up.
manipulation.
Huh?
Then that's manipulation.
Who's getting manipulated?
The situation and the husband.
But the husband was a dick. Yeah.
That's manipulation,
started
though.
it.
There's a way of going about things. You can do things a certain way. You can go about them.
but then
because-
don't you think that
because-
the
no, no.
bride is
You're-
getting
all right,
manipulated
no,
by not knowing this?
Yes, of course she is. But the thing is, of course she is.
But let's keep the manipulation to a minimum.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
it's
Only
not-
that
the
makes
bride.
sense.
No. It's who's doing the manipulating. Are you manipulating the situation? Are you?
Wait, me or Tony? Just kidding. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I hope it's me.
Are you consciously going through it in a manner that's going to be a trickery? Because
Yeah.
then you're trying to enforce something that is based in morality, but you're doing it in an immoral way. But you're justifying it because you see that it's okay to do it.
I think it makes you
What
less
if
believable
I-
too if you're anonymous. Because then, if she goes up to the husband and like, "Hey, did you blow Richard and Peter and Craig?" He's gonna be like, "No, I didn't blow Richard and Peter and Craig."
What if you
Who
did
told
this?
you that? An anonymous person. Well,
What
the
if-
anonymous people are
No.
liars, baby.
What about this?
Don't
What
listen to anonymous
what
people.
if you carve a pumpkin and the pumpkin says your husband cheated with Jack? Like that is
Yeah. Oh,
not-
lantern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Jack wasn't bad. He said
Yeah.
Your
You get
husband
somebody
cheated with
really
mine.
good.
And then you leave this carved pumpkin on their doorstep. That to me would have some gravity. You know, because it
it's
takes
true.
a long time to carve a pumpkin.
Joel on YouTube says, "Excuse me, Brenda, but I forgot about your extended car warranty. Did you know my husband is blowing yours?"
That's actually, yeah, I've had that phone call.
See, I'd say go no or escape room. It's just you in an escape room, and you're like, "Hey, is there anything we should like?" You gotta
Oh.
or you all
Yeah.
get in a room,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Let's hash out and hope they don't fuck again while you're
Uh-huh.
in there."
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
So lock yourself.
Did you guys
in-
start blowing each other during the intervention? Oh my God.
Yeah. So this situation could get very sticky. But again, my final advice to this woman is, look, she needs to figure out some way, shape, or form so that the bride knows. And it's, again, not to necessarily condemn it, but then also she has her own relationship. And it kind of just sounds like your husband's bi, and it kind of sounds like he wants to open up your relationship. So you just need to explore that path.
I mean, either explore it, or if that's not what you signed up for and you don't have the ability. I mean,
That's true.
Granted,
I mean-
you have.
Oh
you
my
have a
God.
child.
Yes, because, oh my God, that's what she does. She says to the bride, "Oh, we're actually opening up our marriage." And the bride's like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, because he fucked your husband. We figured out he was bi." Boom.
Uh-huh. That's what you do. You
And
you
then
make
she's
it,
only dealing with her own
Right.
relationship. She's not shitting on
Or
anyone
It
else.
is a condom is half full kind of problem. at that point. Like, listen, we've been swinging. It's the best thing for us. We were going to get divorced before I started.
It's
Hey, you know what's the
backhanded
best thing?
snitching.
Lynn, you know what's the greatest thing in the world? Fucking two guys at once. You ever fuck two guys at once and sometimes a third best man? You ever fuck maybe three guys at once? Oh, it's the greatest weekend you ever had. How do I know that? Fuck your husband and this other guy. And my husband.
Now,
it was
how
awesome.
long have these guys been friends?
We don't have that information,
And
unfortunately.
that's one thing that, because if he's the best man at his wedding, then they've been friends for a while, and I'm sure that they've had drug drinking binge weekends before.
It's weird that it didn't happen till now.
It's weird that it didn't happen till now.
If it's
So-
it either doesn't happen at all or it happens early. Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Like
It's weird. It's like, man, we went to elementary school together. We played Little League together.
We learned about consonants together.
Yeah, man.
And
We had so many women, you know what I mean, throughout the years, but never until we were both in our late 30s did we blow each other
Exactly.
when we were about to get
Yeah.
married. You know, like that's weird that it comes up then.
I'm also a big fan of the other guy he hooked up with.
Yeah.
Because he woke up the next morning and screamed when he realized. He was like, I'm in bed with a man. I also fucked the groom.
My friends at the Westboro Baptist Church will never let me back.
Are you saying I fucked someone who wasn't the groom? Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe.
I am such a basic bitch.
Oh, but maybe he screamed because he cheated on the groom. He's like, how could I have done this to him?
We're such close friends.
I said I was going to only sleep with him.
I just love it because you could totally tell it's a woman writing a question. Because like the other way around, if my wife came up to me and was like, "Listen, I have something to tell you. I was at a bachelorette party and I fucked 3 of the bridesmaids," I would be like, "What? That is literally the hottest goddamn story you've ever told me. Can you tell it to me again, but slower and with less clothes on?" That was amazing. I fucking love this story.
I'm just gonna stand over this plant for a second.
Can you tell me a story and pretend I'm an executive with money? Can I wear a suit, even if it's a cheap suit, one that I can afford? This is a hot story.
Yeah.
But that's I guess that's what we're raised as. That's what we're raised with. Because I don't know if you remember, everybody ever told me, ever since I was in elementary school, being the youngest of 3 boys, all women are a little bit bisexual. They're all, but
yeah, that was my
dude.
That was my favorite Maya Angelou poem.
Yeah.
All women are a little bit bisexual.
Bro, like everybody told us that. I mean, at least me. Everybody told me that growing up. All girls are a little bit, and then you can fuck 1,000 women in your life. You suck one dick, you're gay for life. So that's
It is on page 7 of the Bible as well.
Exactly.
I mean, as an atheist, even I know it's there.
You damn right.
Uh-huh.
So
it says women can be a little bit bi, but like one dick. And,
because,
Well, that's what happened. Adam's rib makes you a little bi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One
It
dude
is-
even got his mouth too close to Adam's dick, and in the Old Testament, they were like, "We gotta
gotta
stone
stone him
now."
to death.
Yeah. They were real fucking sticklers about that whole thing back then.
Yeah,
Way less cool about it than this lady. Way less cool about it than this lady.
right?
That Old Testament.
Yeah, that the Old Testament is totally dope. But yeah, so what other final advice do we have for this woman?
I blame her for this entire thing. She never should have asked that cursed monkey paw. Please, cursed monkey paw, don't let my husband fuck any women at the stag party. You know?
And then
Whoops.
And then her
the finger
husband-
curled down. She's like, great. It curled into a shocker pose. This is good. I can go to bed and not pay any more attention to this evening.
guys don't use the shocker on other guys.
No,
Yeah, there
well,
is
I
no
mean,
pink.
Well, you can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
There's no pink.
no, but
It's only
when
the
there's
stink.
but when there's 2 groomsmen though, you know what I mean? When there's, I think there was
like
side by
a
side.
double
That's called
sided
bowling.
I think he was bowling. I think he had his finger in the devil's bowling ball.
Amazing. Well, I think we answered that question.
I think we did too. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you have any questions to write into the Love Gurus podcast, write them in to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, catch us every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Write questions, write comments in the chats. We are going to take yet another wild question from the psychotic animals on a magical website called Reddit.
Next question. My sister thinks her husband is the father of my unborn baby.
What the fuck? This is so much. How bad does that last lady? How happy is she that she's the last lady as opposed to this lady? Holy fuck, this is crazy. This is so much crazier.
I'm 26 and my sister is 29. She's married to Max, who's also 29. I knew Max before my sister did because we worked together 8 years ago. I actually introduced them, and they've been together for 6 years, married for 3, and have a 2-year-old daughter, Maggie. Over the course of the first lockdown, I lost my job. Max and Mary let them stay with me over the 3 months, during which I took care of Maggie while Max and Mary were working. I then got a job and got some money, and so I moved out in July of 2020.
Wake up, Maggie. I think I got something to say to you.
However, due to their work schedules, I still help take care of Maggie a lot. My sister started acting weird, and I could tell that things were tense between her and her husband. She would also snap at me from time to time, so I would just give her space. I then found out that I was pregnant and told my sister and her husband. My sister then asked me to take a DNA test to prove that Max is not the father. This is upsetting for both of us, but we booked the test to prove that to my sister that she's wrong. In the meantime, my sister kicked Max out of the house. Because he had no other options, he came to stay with me, which obviously convinced my sister that she's right. We had the test, got the results, and to the surprise of absolutely no one, Max is not the father of my child.
Oh!
My sister,
Congrats, Max, and this lady.
My sister knew that it was from a one-night stand, but she still didn't believe me. Mary said that it didn't prove that we weren't sleeping together, and that Max didn't impregnate me. At that point, I gave up, and Max said that he was moving out and starting a divorce, which she then said was further proof that he wanted to leave and be with me. I fear that my sister is having major mental health issues. How do I convince her and her husband that this is going on and that she needs help and they should stay together?
They never even slept together then.
Right.
No.
So to
wow.
give a quick recap, so there are two sisters, and then the one sister's married to the guy. They worked, the sister and the husband worked together 8 years before, so they've known each other a long time and have always been friends. They've never slept with each other. The sister gets pregnant from a one-night stand. The other sister, the wife, is like, I know that my husband's the father of your baby. You need to take a DNA test. They take the DNA test, proves it's not his baby, and she still doesn't believe
that just
that
means you wore a condom while you fucked my sister, Gary.
So,
I mean,
all right.
yeah, go ahead.
All right. The lady is clearly having mental health issues, and you can't expect the man to stay with her if she has flown the fucking cuckoo's nest.
You think so? Okay, here's what I think is going on. Okay, first and foremost, I just must say, if someone...
Yeah, there's no Hallmark section for, I didn't actually fuck your sister. There's no cards for that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, this whole, oh, you're pregnant, I'm going to force you to take a DNA test. Like, fuck you. Like, the fact that they complied with that and were like, okay, I guess we'll take a DNA test to prove we didn't fuck. Like, why would you do that?
If you love somebody and you know that they're having mental health issues, you're going to go outside of your way to try to convince them before they jump off the deep end.
See, I don't know. The fact that they complied with the DNA test to me is like them like feeding into like her ego almost.
Like pandering to mental illness.
It's almost like, oh yeah, there is a chance it
yeah.
could be
the fact that they're even like
What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he was on
Man in the Iron Mask?
Fucking idiot.
Titanic.
The one who he's
dating Gilbert Grape.
He's at a mental health institute on an island.
Yes,
Shutter Island. Oh,
Shutter Island.
That's
That was
a great film.
So they set up this entire thing so that he could play his role as the detective and solve the case and whatever. And it turns out that you don't know whether or not he is crazy or if they actually built this ruse around him.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
100%.
So,
Even with all of that fucking shit, it's just like, yeah, but I'm still pretty goddamn crazy. I mean, that's what crazy does. Crazy goes, I'm hearing you. I'm seeing the evidence you laid before me. However, like that's what crazy does.
Okay.
That's just what it does every time.
I don't think that is what's going on at all. I think the wife just wants out. She's just trying to make a clean line case to get out. So that's why she's like, oh my God, like you guys spend so much time together. You're cheating. And then it's like, and then the DNA test came back negative, and she was like, damn it, we're still cheating. It's
Must have pulled out and got lucky. Very little pre-cum on this guy. Very little.
She's trying to get divorced and to have this solid piece of paper that's like, oh, I got divorced because my husband cheated on me. And it's like, and then there's no guilt. You know, she doesn't want to just leave the marriage to leave the marriage.
I would see that point if it wasn't for the fact that she's basically saying, goodbye to her sister as well. I'm trying to
just
pour
pour
wine.
that, just pour that wine over the electrical outlets. No problem.
Yeah.
Here's what I think.
Dude, that's how confident I am in my pouring ability. I can mid-sentence lean off mic and fucking do it over sound equipment. I don't fuck around. I give that little quarter hand twist. I don't spill shit.
Just smelling it. Yeah.
Okay, but
You're
you
a mixologist without
Yeah.
mixing.
Goddamn right. I'm like a drunken Rain Man without any of that stuttering bullshit. You know what I mean? Just counting them toothpicks.
but you Tony, you have
I
something
think
to say.
she's being manipulated by the guy from the one night stand. Because no one's talking about this guy just had a one night stand. Now he has a kid.
You think he's the puppet master?
I think he's going, hey, maybe she fucked your husband.
Yeah.
So he can get out of it.
Wait, who's the guy from the one night stand again?
She doesn't mention anything about him.
Random.
It was a random one night stand. But yeah, that's a good
Wait,
point.
the sister with the husband fucked the guy on a one night stand?
So the person who wrote this
Yes.
had a one night stand and got pregnant from it.
Yeah.
And then her sister is now saying that baby from the one night stand is actually from her husband. But I can only imagine
I
that guy
honestly
from the
forgot
one night
about the one-night
stand is
stand.
like,
It's been-
whoa, no, I think you fucked the husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point.
I'm picturing this guy knocking on the door with flowers for a second day. God, that was such a fun one night stand. I can't wait to fuck her a second time and really get to know her as a human being. Oh my God. And he heard this conversation.
my
He's
question
like,
is-
I almost stuck my dick in a whole basket of
Did it
crabs.
happen to be Seth Rogen? That was my only question.
Seth Rogen's going to play Jerry Garcia. Did you know that?
Really?
Just came out today. He's going to play Jerry.
Oh, he doesn't
No, I
smoke
thought it was
enough
Jonah-
weed to be Jerry Garcia.
Ah,
Are
he's
you
about to.
kidding?
I thought
Have you
Jonah
not
Hill.
watched Panda Express?
It was to be a joke.
Wait, is it not Jonah? It's not Jonah Hill?
Wait, who did I say?
You
Seth
said Seth
Rogen.
Rogen. I think it's Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I'm mixing up my stoner comics
God.
who are a little
Can I
chunky
just-
from
this is
the
like-
early 2000s.
That was your
This is-
Greta. That was your
That was
Greta.
my
Yeah.
Greta. That was my Greta
This
moment.
is my smallest-
I had a Greta tongue blah, blah, blah moment.
Yeah, but this is my smallest side note. I'm so fucking sick of Jonah Hill complaining about people complaining about his body or commenting on his body. I just
shit.
want to fucking backhand him in his fucking fat skinny face.
No one knows
Like,
what it's like to be a wildly successful
I'm
actor
so
who sometimes
tired. It's
gets
like-
made fun of for having love handles.
Oh my God. Like women,
yeah,
it's
all
like women forever are so, and then Jonah Hill does one thing and he's like, guys are hurting my feelings. It's
What-
like, shut the fuck
He needs to
up,
go. He
Jonah
needs to go to
Hill.
Oprah.
Yeah.
He needs to go sit on Oprah for a while.
Yeah.
Oh no,
just-
I don't. I don't
hate
care
that
about
guy.
any women actresses who get body shamed. It's like fuck you. You make $10 million a year to be in the public eye, and sometimes the public eye is critical. They're handing me
Yeah.
piles of money, but sometimes they.
I like
say
calling
this.
Jonah
Like,
Hill
I don't-
our Lizzo. You
He
know?
is our Lizzo. Yes,
He's our
100%.
Lizzo.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. That's like completely.
That is the broiest thing I've
Yeah.
ever heard on this podcast. I love it.
Who's Lizzo?
It's she's like a singer, like
You
an R&B
know
singer.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Why
I
am
love
I
Lizzo.
great?
You need to
'Cause I
follow
gotta
her on
be great.
Instagram like
yeah.
instantly. She's so great.
Does
Okay.
anyone have a moment where they're like, I want to have to describe Lizzo? I'm like, she plays the flute. Google her.
She sings that song. I put my hands up, jet my nails. Baby,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you do it? Got his hand back.
No man on the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, small side. So back to the question again. So you guys are of the opinion that these are serious mental health issues and that the wife is not just trying to get out of the
Oh
marriage.
Yeah.
Tim on
Okay.
YouTube also called me out for correcting me on Jonah Hill. 100%. yeah. They're on it.
We got
Yeah.
fact checkers all over the place.
Fucking A, man. Yeah.
Fuck you, Donald Trump.
That's true. Yeah. But
Even now, Donald Trump is in the comments. It's Jonah Hill. It's Jonah Hill.
They didn't kick him off
It's
YouTube.
But here's the reason why I'm not 100% disagreeing with the fact that it's mental health issues, but she isn't providing evidence of other things that are going on. It's kind of just this one thing that she's talking about. I would think that if she were genuine in that, I think that these are mental health issues, she would bring other examples. Yeah, like saying, oh, Russell Crowe's living in our garage. You know, like whatever. Like she would have other examples.
But
Of the mental
all right,
illness.
that's if you're jumping straight to psychosis.
Oh, okay.
But it could just be a severe case of
Personality thing.
distrust.
a
Personality.
severe case of need the hugs.
Yeah. Dude, you know, all right. I don't know. Have you ever been cheated on?
Not that I know of, but I'm sure I have been.
But not that you.
What is that response?
That is definitely.
No one's admitted it, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, statistically, like, it's impossible that I haven't been cheated on, but I don't know. I don't have, like, direct knowledge that
I've never caught anyone cheating on me, but I am very gullible. That was that response set. Yeah, 100%.
I am very chill about the whole.
He has been working late a lot.
Look, some dudes are on the train. They brush up a lady. They get perfume and glitter on them. You know what I mean? From train women.
Dick lands in somebody.
You just went to India for 12 hours? Seems acceptable.
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
nothing happened at that stag party? Cool.
How's the groom doing?
So sorry, maybe that wasn't a good answer to your question.
All right. If you don't know what it's like to be cheated on, or if you don't know what it's like to have all of your worth taken away, all right, you go to a comedy club that you've been working at for 2 years, and then you start realizing that they're not booking you anymore. And then you go there, and it's like, all right, they start charging you for your drinks now. And then now, whenever you go there, you still have that kind of that anxiety of, I feel like I'm getting rubbed out.
Yeah.
So if that's the experience that you're having at that comedy club, you're going to, and then you see that something is happening where you're actually getting shoved out of the door. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to start grabbing at straws, and they'll make this huge fucking scene inside their head that could very well pour out into the general public. And everybody else can see this meltdown fucking happen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a psychosis. It could very well just be depression with
like you're so if I understand correctly, like you're saying basically like she's losing her rock, or even though that's not true,
Yeah.
but she feels like she's losing her rock, and so therefore it's causing her to have this like public breakdown.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
She's just insanely paranoid. Like just a
could very
person
well be.
who's, just one of those people that like, oh, I have to have 17 locks on my door even though I live in rural Wyoming.
And also,
like no one's
it's,
coming for
you know,
you.
this-
But it could also be, she could very well be just trying to get rid of her fucking husband. I'm just saying that there is multiple facets you can look at this.
I have to think it's a personality thing unless it happens to be that like, man, I really hate both my husband and my sister so much. Oh, I know, I'll accuse him of fucking. Like, I mean, unless she really wanted to get rid of both of them, which seems odd. Now, granted, I do like to point this out at least once a podcast. I like to err against the person writing the question when in doubt. Because most of the people on Reddit, or scratch that, all the people on Reddit are insane, totally. Just right off the bat. And then also, these are questions written by, for, and about them, and it's a pro-them propaganda, their own personal MSNBC, Fox News, North Korean state-run news if they happen to own the entire country, right? So when they leave out details or when they brush over things, it has to be. That said, it didn't really sound like she was leaving out any weird details. She very well could have been. But unless her sister has a very good reason to hate her as well, the fact that, like, well, I'm just trying to get rid of my husband. Yeah, but you're also getting rid of your sister, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She would just accuse
and
her
babysitter.
husband. And
babysitter.
Unless she's just like
hard.
cleaning house. If she's like, everybody in my life is shit, I'm going to accuse them all of fucking my husband so I can just leave them all. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
Are you fucking your father?
Yeah.
You're out of here.
But she also... Yeah, but...
Also, my dentist charges too much. I think you've been fucking him. You know?
Yeah. But it could definitely be a situation where, again, this is the younger sister, so maybe it's a situation where it's the younger, hotter sister. Now she's pregnant. Maybe she herself wants to have another baby for, and the husband won't. There's a lot of jealousy could definitely be. I mean, it's obviously like a huge player in this situation.
So if I was going to give her any recommendations, it would be there's a book out there called I'm Not Sick, I Don't Need Help.
Ooh.
Yes. You can
Great title.
You can read that book, and you'll understand a little bit better on how to approach a family member who is mentally ill that doesn't want to accept the fact that they're mentally ill.
Oh, wow. That's a great, thanks for that.
Did Netflix make a movie about it yet? Because I always wait for the movies.
Oh, my God.
Books ain't really
All right,
my thing.
11 Bravo. That's crown-eating motherfucker.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Look, man, you got to break it down to us with Crayolas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Break it down Barney style.
Yeah.
You got to take a stick, draw it in the dirt. You know what I mean? Use little figurines. We get it. That's how 11 Bravo.
I'll read it when it's subtitles.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as there's paste to eat, we'll sit through the class.
Totally.
100%. Yeah. Lead paint chips are the best, man. They get you all loopy. Regular paint chips are just for the flavor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the way we do it.
But yeah, so I guess I'm gonna throw the cheating thing out the window. So go with the mental health. So my final advice for this person is, if you want to have a relationship with your sister, sit her down and make her go get some counseling, and then if she doesn't, then just bounce, because you have your own baby now to worry about. Like, their marriage is obviously disintegrating. Like, unless the sister
she's
gets help.
keeping the baby.
Yeah.
She needs to get rid of that fucking thing. It's from a one night stand. Her sister's not going to be there to give her the support that she needs. Like, is this really a situation where you want to have a child?
Oh, but to be fair, with this much sort of, family on family sex kind of thing, and the fact that should I keep the baby never even came up, I think it's in one of those states to where it's basically stoning.
This is in Texas.
If you get what it's one of those.
This is probably Arkansas. So because I think like to get the DNA test like from a pregnancy, like you can't get it at week 6.
They couldn't. All right, it's here.
The baby
Let's
has
take
to be like kind
little bit out of it.
or like.
They couldn't abort it and then do the DNA test?
Yeah, just kind of.
It's the fluid. It is the DNA.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I wonder if Planned Parenthood ever get that request. It's like, listen, I want to get rid of this thing, but I also have questions.
Yes!
If you could keep it as intact as possible, I don't really know
They
how
don't
you
need
guys
to keep it
do
intact. All they need is just a little sliver of it. It's the size of a peanut. You can get enough DNA out of it to tell.
It's like all of those Christian groups that are like, you guys are throwing babies in the trash. It's like
they're making face lotion out of those babies.
we're just testing it.
Listen,
for
I'm here
just
because
seeing
I
who the
definitely
father
don't want a
was.
baby, and I might not want my husband anymore if you catch my drift. Yeah, one of those kind of things.
Yeah. So what other final advice do we have for this person?
Move out of Texas.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
I am glad that Texas banned abortions, though. I think that was the right move. Well, because here's the thing. Me and my wife have had 2 abortions in Texas, and they were the worst fucking abortions we ever had. I mean,
They're so bad at
dude,
abortions.
They suck. You should drive to fucking New Mexico. I mean, I never leave a 1-star Yelp review, okay? But Bubba's Abortion Barn on the outside of Dallas, I'm like, dude, you call this a pregnancy termination, Bubba? The little motherfucker's still waving at me. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Bubba, that is not how spur's supposed to be used, okay?
Bubba, A, you're not wearing gloves. That's fucked up. B, you're also running a barbecue shack outside of here. My wife
What are you going to do with the meat?
Dude, my wife tasted like brisket for a month. It was disgusting. It was disgusting.
Dude, like, I've never thought about this. It's like,
Or did
but what are the reviews
Or
of this
did your
abortion
brisket
clinic?
taste
Right.
like wife?
Okay, let's find the 1-star reviews.
Yeah. Dude, the move is having like 6 abortion clinics on the border of California and Texas, like liquor stores right outside of Utah.
Yeah, like a dry
That's the
state.
move, dude. I'm moving to
don't- I don't-
California right outside of Texas.
I don't think
Open
those
up like 5 of
two
them
states
motherfuckers.
touch. But
No, California and Texas do.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the
you
western
sure?
border of Texas.
I'm pretty sure that Arizona and New Mexico
are
are
Oh
in
shit!
between.
Really? All right, to be fair, I do not
I'm
know
starting
geography.
to think this might be
Listen,
a bad investment.
I got the 5 I'm like, fuck! I never looked at one map.
Come on, abortion's on the border. Come on.
Lem Bravo, baby. We ain't good at geography.
Yeah. No, you
Jake,
just bought.
we've been there.
Jake's
Bob,
like
let's do
building
that.
an abortion clinic in Colorado. They're like, we're actually fine with
I
it.
also like to think you're doing it like by hand. You're like, I will build this clinic. They will come.
They're trying to tell me that ain't Texas. I'm like, nah, you're just one of those pro-lifers trying to trick me. They keep fucking building them.
Yeah. So okay. So that's
No shit. That goes through Arizona and then
Yeah.
fuck me, man.
El Paso is like right.
Dude,
next
here's
to
the
New
thing.
Mexico.
I learn at least one new thing on this podcast that has nothing to do with dating every week. This is that thing.
But yeah, amazing. Yeah, so so she is keeping the baby, and it's So again, like my advice is she has her own shit to worry about, and if her sister doesn't get help, then she needs to do the hard love thing, or read the book that you suggested, which I think is a great idea.
Or the Bible.
Because that's got the answers.
Yeah. Dude, this was Joseph's first marriage. He was like, I'm fucking out. I'm going to pray to God that this shit with this chick Mary works out. You know what? I'm not even going to fuck her. Everything goes bad when I start fucking. Even my own wife. Even my own wife gets crazy with me. I'm not going to fuck my wife. And then God intervened. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do you a solid. Also, he has magical powers. He has magical powers, and you don't have to fuck at all.
Yeah, amazing.
My final advice for her. your first child, madam, may not come from your sister's husband. But that doesn't mean your second one can't. Your sister sucks. Fuck her husband and get pregnant.
Yeah, give Maggie little sister.
Yes, have Maggie 2. You got Maggie 1 and Maggie 2. Maggie 1, one night stand. Maggie 2, sister's husband.
It's like that movie Short Circuit, remember from the 80s where they made like 6 of
Yes.
him, and by the sixth one he's like gold-plated? That's
Yeah.
what your baby would
Dude,
look like.
Very rarely on this podcast is my advice, fuck your sister's husband. But goddamn it, raw dog him. If he has a condom, you poke a hole in that shit, all right?
Yeah,
get
you
pregnant
rip
by
that off with
sister's
your teeth.
husband. Yeah, gnaw through it like Jaws. Yeah, bite that fucking holes in that shit and then get pregnant by your sister's husband. That's what I say.
And then go to Maury and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh my God, totally.
Yes.
You're going to be getting high five by Maury. Dr. Phil's going to be going, I never thought I would say this, but
Bro,
Raw
the Catch
Dog
Me
and your
Outside girl can
sister's
fucking
husband
fund it and be your
is the way-
sponsor.
Yeah, for one time, the Catch Me Outside girl and me agree. You know, and then Dr. Phil is high five and Catch Me Outside. Everybody's holding hands. The Israelis and Palestinians agree somehow over this episode. It creates total world peace. It's amazing.
Perfect. Well, I think we answered that question.
I think so too.
Should we just do one more, I think, for time?
Yeah. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you have any questions, write them into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, check it out live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Ask us questions in the comments section and comments as well. We're taking our last question from the wild animals on Reddit.
Well, I have one question.
Of
before,
course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before that question, are the producers of these questions actually listeners, or are these that you went on Reddit and?
This is just from Reddit. So
Yeah.
they
okay.
so they're out there on
They're
the
out
internet.
there. They're real people.
Yeah,
they could be your neighbor.
Yeah. But I
They
don't
could be.
but I don't
They could
I don't live in
be
Texas, bro.
but
your
I don't,
coworkers.
Yeah, but
They
I don't
could be-
I don't troll them
But
and
they might have
say,
moved
"Oh,
here."
we answered that." I'm not,
yeah.
I guess I could, but I
You
don't.
could.
They're out
God.
there.
I totally
I
would.
would be talking a lot different if they were listening.
Yeah.
I actually think
I
that you
get stabbed
should.
over this fucking podcast.
See
Yeah.
what happens, because
I
if they
don't know.
respond, if they
Some of
responded to these,
some of these people are so close to the edge anyway. I don't want to be responsible for slit wrists.
You
in
know
a
what I
bathtub.
think
Know
they
what I'm
need?
saying?
I think they need a laugh.
that would just be a
Let's
really
get a
really
good chuckle at you and your sister and your baby's expense.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
They're like people at a casino.
The people that you have to make laugh at that casino are way sadder than these motherfuckers. They've lost. At least they had a few bucks. At least they still had a computer left to type this into.
Yeah.
The people that Petey has to fucking make laugh pawn their shit, and it's just in front of Petey like, all my family members are fucking my wife, and I don't even have a computer to write to Reddit about. I have to just sit here.
You could do it on a phone.
That's why Petey's the fucking best, man. Anyone who can make those people laugh at the casino is a fucking comedy god. That is not a happy crowd. That is, they're
So
bombing.
when do you want to come do 5?
Dude, I'll absolutely. I mean, I want to do more than 5 for Christ's
Jake,
sake.
I got you.
Jake,
I got
would-
Yeah,
Jake,
what are the over-unders? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but Jake,
Yeah.
but Jake also needs to be careful because he probably be recognized with some people that he owes money to. So,
Come here,
Bill-
Mr. Funny Man.
God damn it, we've been looking for you forever.
Hey, when you bring me up, don't use my name.
I'm gonna do a knock on you with an actual goddamn hammer. Get the fuck down here. You owe me 20 grand.
Fuck out of here. Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's do our last question.
Alrighty, last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, wait, that has lyrics in it. That's supposed to be
Oh,
copyright free. That's what
God.
gets us fucking bumped on YouTube. Here we go. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions in the Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com, but we are going to take one more from the wild animals on Reddit.
Last question. My husband who's 29 slept with my mother who's 55 right
Fuck
before we
me.
got married 2 years ago. What? Okay.
Jesus Christ, the last 2 people have it so much better than this third person.
My husband just confessed
Ah.
to me that 2 years ago on his bachelor party night, just don't go on a bachelor party night is really going to be the theme for this show. Okay. My husband
Man.
confessed to me that 2 years ago on his bachelor party night, he was extremely drunk. He doesn't drink often and overdid it. He said that the next morning he didn't remember anything after a certain point. He was acting pretty off, which I assumed at the time was just wedding jitters. Now he's told me that he did remember coming home that night, which was when my mom, who was staying with us for that week for the wedding, came on to him. He went along with it to the point where they ended up having sex in her bed. In fact, he passed out in her bed and was there the whole night. I was at my bachelorette party the same night, so when I came home at 3 a.m., I saw he wasn't in his bed. I texted him and assumed that he had just crashed at a friend's house, but he's actually with my mother right next door. The next morning, he quietly slipped out while I was asleep, then opened the door, pretending he was coming home from sleeping off the drunkenness at his friend's.
My name is Christina Bono.
He got into bed with me and told me that lie. As if that wasn't enough, he also initiated sex with me soon after. He'd been fucking my mother mere hours before. We got married the very next day. My mother has a history of trying to flirt with guys that I've dated and has been inappropriate. My husband knew this. We laughed about it, and he assured me that he would never in a million years think she was attractive. I called my mom and I said, "Husband told me everything." She spent several minutes pretending not to know what I was talking about, then denying everything and saying that he was making it up, then claiming that she'd woken up with my husband forcing himself on her. The sheer audacity of the bullshit she is capable of is beyond any disgust that I can properly convey. I eventually just ended the call. Where the fuck do I go from here?
To Dr. Phil.
Yeah. So to give a quick
You don't need to fuck the guy who fucked your mother for
He
the
fucked
rest
you
of
enough
your
in this
life.
life.
One diamond doesn't mean he's entitled to your mother's hole.
So to give a quick recap, yeah. So they've been married for 2 years, and the husband's just confessed that he slept with the mother right before they got married. Not only that, she was her mom's sloppy second because it was like the same day, which is to me the worst part about it.
Tim on YouTube brings up a good point. He says, the guy just wanted a glimpse into the future. That is why he had to experience the
That's
mother.
actually a really good point. Yeah. What is she going to be like when she's 55? But the other
Also, the people in YouTube seem to be calling for Petey to become a therapist. You know what, and dude, that would be a good fucking side
I'd be up
gig
for it.
Dude, how bad do people at casinos need therapists? You know what I mean? Way more than they need comics. So like that could be you plug the therapy business at the end. It's just like comics that sell weed and mushrooms. They constantly plug that shit at the end.
It's only because I receive a lot of therapy.
Boom. There you go, dude. You steal your therapist material, use it on other patients.
Actually,
That's
I'm
the
stealing
move.
my wife's fucking therapy material because she's the one that is always like, no, you need to look at it from all perspectives and be more empathetic. She's like, you don't need to stab the person that cut you off in traffic. Please understand.
they may have also had a bad day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get my therapist off Groupon. They're like,
I thought you were going to stop right there. I get my therapist off.
Wait till you hear about my week.
I don't have insurance. It's the only way I can do it. It's legal to do that in Florida to pay for therapy. It's the only way.
So definitely these people are going to need some therapy. So again, the husband slept with the mother. He just confessed to his wife. The mom was kind of like, no, it didn't happen. Oh, he forced himself on me. Meanwhile, the mother has a history of sort of being this Mrs. Robinson type of trying to seduce her boyfriend. So, I mean, really in this situation, it's tough because, you know, it's her husband and her mother. Like, there's no turning back from the situation. Like, I think she just needs to get the fuck out.
I think that the best thing that she could do is she can convince her husband that the only way to save their relationship is if he kills her mother.
I like this already.
And then snitch and have his ass sent to prison, and then she just walks away scot-free.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's
He's going to be in handcuffs going, no, you don't understand. She told me to kill her mom. She told me to kill her mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's never going to
If
work.
we've learned anything from the Tiger King, it's entrap people and murder for hire. Yeah.
Exactly. Not even for hire. Out of sheer guilt.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one of two reasons why he told her. Either one, he was trying to get out of the relationship already. He was like, this is my exit. This is my out. Or the guilt was eating him so badly that she could convince him to kill her mother.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, though. I am wondering if it's guilt
Turn
or
him
if
into
he's
like a
just kind of
Manchurian
done...
candidate. Brainwash him a bit, you know?
Yeah. I am wondering though if he actually was guilty or if because 2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Like it's not 6 months down the road.
Oh,
It's not.
he told her this 2 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I missed that
So
important detail.
unless
That's
he was
fucking crazy.
on Molly,
Yeah.
there's basically some sort of alternative behind. him
Wow.
opening
I
up.
mean, but wouldn't you just leave her at that point? Wouldn't you just be like, listen, it's not working out?
But it's almost like, there's like this maybe he has this sick way of, he cheated on the mom and he obviously like knew his
Yeah.
bad, and again, there's this thing of like, he was drunk, but it's like, anyway, I have been very drunk at my boyfriend's parents' house and I've never gotten into the bed with his dad. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Mother, on the
No,
other
you
hand,
have tried. You have tried.
I did once blow Suzanne's boyfriend's dad at a stag party. It was fucking weird because like neither of us was getting married or in the wedding. Like we just ended up there. We
I
just,
like that Reddit post. I don't know. I guess Jake blew my boyfriend's dad. Why?
and then all the comments, yeah, me too. He keeps fucking crashing stag parties and blowing the fathers. It's
Here's,
fucking odd.
it's almost, to me, it's almost like an act of desperation, right? Because if it was like his bachelor party, he, like some dudes do cheat on the bachelor party and then it is kind of like their last hurrah. So maybe he just came home and there were no other options except for the mom. And he's like, I'm not going to call a stripper over at this. All right, let's.
I already told everyone I was going to cheat tonight. I got to get at least one.
I can't let my boys down.
That's what I'm saying. He had built up this night and he was just like,
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. If I don't do this, they have to change the sign.
It's
And-
not. Do they live in Vegas?
Didn't stay.
Oh,
in
I don't
Vegas.
know.
Because
Yeah.
it was her house, right?
Right, it was her house, yeah. So yeah, but it is like
pretty
so.
wild,
it's,
man.
But then it's also kind of like
Thanksgiving's going to be
sometimes-
weird. Did he fuck my husband here? Did she
Yeah.
fuck my husband there?
But sometimes people do things in relationships that are really terrible, and then it's almost like their epiphany moment where then they're like, oh my god, like I actually really care about this person now. I'm gonna now be the world's best husband. So maybe he was a really good husband
And
for her.
that way, she can get away with convincing him to murder her mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move, man.
That's bro. 'Cause at that point, if
I don't
baby,
think the mom
if you
should
had-
get murdered,
If you had
though.
fucked my dad,
yeah.
if you had, I'm sorry,
I
but the
love
whole
that
house is getting
hypothetical
burnt
is happening
down
with his wife in the room.
The whole house is getting burned down.
Yeah, 100%.
But but
Dude, it's a scorched earth policy at that
Yeah.
point. I will, like, the whole neighborhood's got to go.
you fucking like
I
this
will
is gonna be
firebomb
Philadelphia in
dude,
1981.
I will turn it like Dresden. I will firebomb that whole neighborhood. Like I can't. The street where I was born on can't
I
exist.
like that.
anymore.
We don't need to just kill the mom.
They
Kill
have
all
to-
the neighbors.
Yeah, it has to be.
Bro, the dog has got
no
to
one
get
can
it.
exist anymore. The whole street has to be completely wiped out, burned to ashes.
Yeah.
I agree. It
I
has
don't know.
to be.
You guys are
can't-
sounding like real Christian about this whole thing.
No. Get Christian.
It's
Christian.
bad, but it's just sex.
Christians are like no.
Jonathan 3:17. Jesus said to Peter, "Bro, he fucked your mom." That's wild, dude.
That's what I'm
wild.
saying. I'm
You
just
gotta
saying.
kill everybody.
I've read a lot of books where it's like I guess like especially like if you read anything of like England back in like the 17th, it's like kind of everyone like people die unexpectedly, and so you just start having sex with that person and marry, and you're like,
Yeah.
whoops, I guess you're my brother.
Do
I
you think
forgot about that.
That's
part.
his defense. He was like,
Joel-
I thought my wife was dead. So what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. So I'm just
Joel on YouTube says, like Suzanne said, any port in a storm. Yeah. That motherfucker makes lemonade. When life gives him AIDS, he makes lemonades, this guy.
Yeah, I'm just like again, but so there's the portrayal part of this, and then obviously her mother, is a guilty party in this. But I think that she has to divorce, even if she could get over the cheating part. It's the fact that it's with her mother, because again, they're going to be at Thanksgiving, they're going to be at Christmas, and they're going to have this picture, and every time you look at that picture with the mother, it's going to be like you're going to know.
No,
what
she's
happened.
got to cut
Yeah, she's
all
gotta
ties
cut.
with her mother
Yeah.
and all ties with that man.
Yeah,
That,
there's
like,
no
Yeah.
making up.
There's
on
no
either
making
of
that up.
part.
There's
Yeah.
no, because it's not only did you violate my trust,
Yeah.
you chose to do it with the most vulnerable person possible, like the person that brings out the most vulnerability in me.
The fact that she
Okay,
hasn't
'cause I was
literally...
like, I don't think her mother is vulnerable.
Yeah.
Know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But the person that brings out the most vulnerability in you is going
Right.
to be one of your parents.
yeah, okay, makes
The
sense.
fact that she hasn't literally murdered both of them by now, I mean, she's a goddamn saint.
She is
That's fucking crazy.
like that's too.
Keep in mind, I know I made a Graduate reference earlier. Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate is the dude in this question and the protagonist in that movie. They were like, can you believe this prude bitch won't marry this guy just because he fucked her mom while they were dating? I mean, what the hell's wrong with her? You know? Just take it back, lady. That was the point of The Graduate. That was the dude. Dustin Hoffman in that movie is the guy in this question.
Oh, yeah. No, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's
wait,
banging on the glass at the
so
end. Don't
yours-
marry that really good-looking, successful guy that didn't fuck your mom.
So you're
marry
saying there's-
me, short, stupid Dustin Hoffman, who did fuck your mom. He's banging on the glass, and she
So
goes,
then you're saying
I'm going to
there's-
marry Dustin Hoffman.
So
you
you're
know?
saying there is hope for the relationship then?
I think it's hope. Yeah, according to classic cinema. I think so.
As long as hope is the name of a shovel.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. What about you, Tony? Do you think there's hope for the relationship?
Oh no.
Yeah. You think it's a cut and right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You got to run.
Yeah. I mean,
She
all
was
right.
sloppy seconds to her mom.
Sloppy second to her mom.
Yeah.
That's the first
pretty
thing grosses
goddamn
me out
sloppy.
so much.
Yeah.
And it sounds like her mom's pretty sloppy. So that's like sloppy
Yeah,
seconds. That's
yeah,
sloppy
yeah.
squared. Sloppy
Also,
with
her
the
mom's
two up in the
claiming
corner.
It's
rape.
not sloppy Joe. It's
Yeah,
sloppy
that's
hoe.
pretty
Yeah,
fucking
wait,
wild.
That's another
Yeah.
angle.
That's pretty goddamn
Tony's,
wild.
Tony's also bringing up another good point. What if the
Yeah.
mom's right? Like, shouldn't we believe women?
No. Here's why. If the mom is right, even worse. Even worse. Why? Because she's like,
Yeah, 'cause
nah,
she's
I'm gonna
married
let
to a
I'm gonna let
rapist."
my daughter marry a rapist. I don't care.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
It's some dudes rape, some guys rape. I'm from a different time. Some guys rape, and my daughter's marrying a guy who rapes. Fuck it. Like if the mom was raped, she truly is worse than if she fucked the guy in the first place.
That is
Yeah,
very true.
I am genuinely hoping that, it's a situation of, there's like that scene in The Office where Mindy Kaling's getting in trouble and she just goes, I was raped. And they're like, you can't just say that. But yeah, of course, believe women. Anyway,
I hope this lady looked her mom in the eye when she said I was raped and goes, yeah, but I wish you were murdered. Fuck you.
And also, you can tell she has a track record where the daughter didn't even consider that an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she said it.
and here's the other thing about this situation. Okay, assuming that she gets a divorce and then cuts her mom out of her life, the thing about this situation is there's an argument. Statistically, there's no way she's going to have a worse breakup than this one. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a silver lining. It's like, no one's going to, as long as she doesn't introduce her partner to her mom again, like, fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. What does it go?
That was very much a George Bush version of that.
Well,
Fool me once, shame on you.
Shame on me.
You ain't no fooling me twice.
could someone call my dad and ask how to answer this question? Thank you.
Dude, that's why George Bush's sister has never talked to Barbara. She did this shit to all her daughter's boyfriends. All of them,
Barbara.
Yeah.
Good old
But
Bob.
yeah, so I think we're in agreement that there's no chance for the rest of the relationship then.
No,
Yeah.
that's
What
pretty
about?
much that's a
Yeah,
dead-
that's my final advice is get divorced. What about you, Jake?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, I don't think there's a happy ending at the end of this to where you're toasting in front of your grandkids going, I was going to leave your grandfather just because he fucked your great grandmother, but staying with him was the best decision I ever made. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening.
That's
Oh,
not.
I
So-
hate that when people do that with like
Yeah.
what was that I was watching and I know what it was. It was Married at First Sight, obviously. Excellent cinema. And the guy was just like such a douchebag to her and she's like, but like we're writing our story. This is our love story that we're going to look back in 10 years. And it's like he got another girl pregnant. What are you doing? Like, Lee, you married him at first sight. There is no history. Anyway.
No, but what the hell was my advice anyway? All right. Well, okay. So you definitely cannot stay with the guy, but I don't think you can let him go away empty-handed, not without a consolation prize. You know what I mean? You have to make up with him for like 6 months or so. You make up with him, and then
I like
you
where
what?
this is going.
Fuck his dad. Yeah.
Oh.
You fuck his dad. You fight fire with fire. And if the dad's too much of a prude to fuck you, you know what I mean? As many dads are, if it's a good dad, they're not and they're not gonna fuck their son.
See-
Even if she's like, yeah, but he fucked my mom, they're still gonna be like, yeah, but I'm a good dad. I used to take him to baseball and stuff. I'm not gonna fuck
But
his.
if he was, if he was a good dad, would his son be fucking his mother-in-law?
I mean, maybe, like maybe it's the son. Maybe it's nature and not nurture. Look, I mean, yeah, most guys that fuck their fiancés' mothers usually didn't have the best dads. Some of them are just psychos. We don't
Yeah.
know the situation.
Yeah.
Maybe the dad is just like, oh my God, I just wear Argyle sweaters every day and raised him like Mr. Robinson. I can't believe he's going around fucking all his girlfriends' moms. He's been doing this since junior high. It's crazy. I've been trying to break him from that habit. I've been taking him to therapists. Even Dr. Phil couldn't do it. He fucked Dr. Phil's wife. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I do.
He's are you fucking my wife? That is the opposite of what I wanted you to do as a patient. Oh my God. And it was just, yeah, maybe that's a situation. Maybe the guy's dad's a good guy. Anyway, fuck one of his friends, a family member,
Yeah.
or just lie and say you did. You know?
I like the idea of letting there be a bit of a slow burn in the sense that just say, oh yeah, I can forgive you. Let's go to therapy, whatever. Then go through the motions. And then, use some way to like just cripple him financially. Like whether it be like, oh, I'll take care of the finances. And then you put everything into a trust that he can't touch. Like cripple him financially. And that I think is like the best way to get revenge.
Or get him to murder your mother and go to prison.
That's a good one. I do
Yeah.
like that one.
I
Also
think
good.
that's gonna be because you're assuming he has money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he
guess
could
that's
be
a
a
good
broke
point.
ass like.
Yeah, I mean, this does kind of sound. This has broke ass family.
If
written
he was
all over
rich,
it.
go for it.
Yeah.
Joel on YouTube says, Christ almighty, if we followed Jake and Petey's scorched earth idea, most of 2 counties in Michigan would be charred.
Yeah,
I wasn't an angel for many years. And then Joel on YouTube also says, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Okay, but be sure to pull out.
fair enough. Probably always a good idea to pull out. But I think we answered that question.
100%. I think we answered the question. I think we answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who listened. Thank you to our 2 awesome fucking guests, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
to
having
Tony and
us.
Petey, man. You guys have been awesome. Yes, thank you to Sandra.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
to
for coming
Sandra
on
and
the
Amy.
show with me.
Petey Rancel's wife and Amy, my
Yeah.
wife.
Yes,
who was as well.
give it up
I was
for
I was
Amy.
trying not to put you on blast, but yeah, we
There's a
we
cat
had
in the
two.
box back there. We got to give it up for the cat in the
Yeah,
box.
yeah. The cat in the box. Thank you to Jack, the cat in the box. Thank you to all the listeners, especially those who listen to live. Thank you to Joel and Tim on YouTube. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everyone who's listening. And if you're listening after we're recording it, listen live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Until next week, later.